those where millions of watchers are watching you. The internet makes things happen, gives the opportunity to, I hope, interesting people like us to share their opinions. And yes, it's nice to meet you every second week.
Right back at you, Alex. Very happy to see you again.
Fantastic. And we have today the topic mastering the art of persuasion. And that's a very interesting one. That's a very interesting one because I think persuasion, it's where nonsense stops, because many people think they impose their will, they impose their thoughts, and they end the conversation, they end the sales pitch, or they end the communication with the other party, and don't allow their ego to see the hard reality. And the hard reality is not just getting a yes from the other party, but to really convince them of what you say. And that's the difficult part.
Yeah, I think for me, the art of persuasion goes hand in hand with influence, right? I think both in sales and leadership, knowing how to influence people to get what you want and then therefore persuade them to do whatever you want them to do is key in success. If you don't learn how to do that, you can't succeed in either of those roles, I'd say.
Yes, but it's the biggest mistake also, and it's also where you can tell the leader of separate the leader with the non-leader, understand the good salesperson with a not good salesperson. So it's not only telling your side of the story, not only getting a yes, but getting a yes that has also a depth, and a yes that has also a gravity. And it's an important yes because you manage either to convince somebody about something or to change his opinion, genuinely change his opinion. And that is where most people fail, because they get you get many yeses in your daily interactions or in business. Commonly you get a yes which is in brackets is okay, tell him yes to get rid of him, or say yes so that he stops so I don't have an argument. Those yeses are insignificant because in reality you didn't convince the person. And to convince, it takes more than just saying a story. It takes more than that. It's difficult. Convincing people, it's difficult. And the art of persuasion, it's a difficult art.
And I think it's not something you can influence and persuade people easier if you have a relationship with them. So building those relationships to then be able to influence when needed or persuade people when needed is key. But we spend our time, we do it every day at home, in our everyday life. We try and persuade people or convince or influence people to do what we want at different levels, obviously. And in sales and leadership, building a relationship with the person that you are trying to influence, persuade, in order to build trust that you're trying to come to a sort of a win-win situation that's going to work for everybody, is for me the key to succeeding in that, in influencing or persuading people.
What is for your opinion? What is the most important element on persuasion, on convincing somebody about what about your topic, about your subject? What is this element that makes a difference? I would like to hear your opinion. I will tell you mine.
I would say listening to the other person first, what they are, because often when we're trying to influence or convince people, we have this image that we have to put all our arguments forward to try and convince them that what we want is right. but often listening to the other person first and understanding where they're coming from or what they
Absolutely.
want is a much better and more successful technique, because then you can fit your arguments or your persuasion or whatever you're trying to convince them of, to fit what they are, what they are wanting or what they are hoping for, to make sure that you're working together towards the same goal, and you have much more chances of succeeding that way. So for me, it's listening first, which a lot of people don't do.
Yes.
I
Yes.
and it's a skill. You have to learn it. It's not easy. We're not taught in school to listen, even though we do
Absolutely.
spend our time listening to people, but we're not taught how to listen um, actively, and how to really listen to people and not be always thinking about what we're going to say next, or how we can put in our agenda over theirs. And people see that when you walk into a conversation with your own agenda, and you're not paying attention to theirs, and you're not trying to listen to what they want first, they'll see it, and therefore they will be less willing to meet you in the middle, or to let you convince them of whatever you're trying to convince them of.
But it's a hard skill also, Maria. It's a hard
It is.
skill because from the one side, there are people that they don't let you persuade them because for a variety of different reasons, those reasons can be naivety. Those reasons can be they have a different agenda. They have specific interests. They are on the payroll of somebody. So even if you have everything what it takes to persuade them, you will never persuade them. Or even if you persuade them, they would never admit you are right, and they would never let that happen. So I was listening today a podcast. It is this American author Jocko Willing. So he's very famous. He was talking about the topic. So what many parents do, many parents say to their kids, why the kid asks, why should I do that? And the parent answers, I think that's a typical global answer of a parent. Okay, because I said so. So the argument, because I said so, it's a no-go. It's something that you should never, never say. So in my perspective, what made a big difference, me talking to people and persuading them, is to explain to them the reasons why I take a decision,
Mm.
the reasons why. And then most people understood those reasons, and I was able to convince them, persuade them about my thoughts. That is not always possible. That is not always possible, but is many times possible. And that's a very strong argument. Explain why. We need to let somebody go. I need to reduce your hours in this project. There is a specific reason why I want to do that. Not just because I said so, but because A, B, C, D. And let's talk about that and try you to come in my shoes, also to see through my perspective and through my light.
Yeah.
I think that is a significant part of convincing somebody, persuading somebody.
Yes, empathy, definitely. Well, see, it goes back to listening to them and understanding where this person is coming from, as you just said, knowing your audience, knowing who you're speaking to, what might be their objectives, what might be their goals, how you can be helpful to them in achieving those goals in a way that might also serve you. um yeah, there's many. It's very based on communication. It's communication skills. It's knowing how to speak and listen, and really try and understand what the other person wants before you try and push in your own agenda on them, basically.
Yes, the agenda thing is something that well it's complicated. Okay, everybody has an agenda that he's pushing. Okay, so from the one side, from the other side, I mean, that is how far you're going to go for the agenda that you are pushing. So many times the agenda, it's, I mean, I cannot believe people that they sincerely believe what they are saying. They're saying that just because they have an agenda, just because they are on the payroll of somebody, just because it's their work to say those things.
But
And
that's okay. I think, it doesn't mean that the person is generally trying to do something bad. If you're trying to sell a product, it might be not something that you
yeah,
use, but it's your job to sell it. So you have to be convinced that that's right.
in that case, it's absolutely fine. But sometimes, I mean, it's, look, you cannot sell peanuts for bananas. I mean, it's impossible. So there needs to be something there that you also believe. Because if you don't believe, I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
it's nonsense. Then what you say, and you will not sound convincing just because you say something that, okay, uh, buy this product, because I mean it has to have something that it's important.
Well, then that's where persuasion comes in. You'll highlight all the benefits, the outcomes that they're going to get out of it, what's in it for them, why it's in their advantage to buy this product. That's all part of persuading the person, the customer, or
I made a list here about what I think it's what I think are the key factors to persuade somebody effectively.
go.
So one thing is like use facts
Mhm.
and be precise and be exact. The more precise you are and the more exact you are, and if you use facts,
Mhm.
the more persuasive you are going to be.
Yeah, facts and
So
numbers.
not a generic opinion, not something general, but a specific one. This car is better because it consumes that much gas, it accelerates that fast, it's faster than this one, more safe, more exactly, to say exactly
Yeah, based
what
on studies or based on a report from X.
exactly, and point to specific studies,
Yeah,
not to generic ones,
yeah,
according to this study,
yeah.
according
Because
to
there's a lot of fluff out there right now.
yes,
You don't know
but
what to believe anymore.
you are right, but I mean, if you base your pitch, your conversation on facts,
Yeah,
then you strengthen your argument. You strengthen your argument, but also understand the reality of the solution or the product that you are presenting. So it's not going to be 100% good in everything. So it's going to be also
yeah,
worse in certain things, and address those things,
mhm,
and be you the one that is going to address those things first,
yeah. And
because everybody is going to have that in his mind.
I think being honest. Well, I think honesty is important, definitely. But being honest on if it's not the right product for the client, or not the right time, or not the right service, not try to sell, whatever, because that's one client you'll have once and never again. If you want to make them come back, or you want to have a good reputation, you need to be honest and do what's best for the client, even if that means losing a sale.
I agree with you 100%. That is my favorite part when I'm selling my business. It's my integrity and my honesty.
Yeah,
So because I know, I
will
mean,
come to you.
imagine you are a client. What do you expect me what do you expect to hear from me? All the good things that we are going to do for you.
Yeah.
But who is going to point the things that we cannot do for you?
Hmm.
But do you as a client have the maturity to appreciate our standpoint, our honesty? Do you have the maturity?
Well, that's
Not,
not in
not, not
that's
everybody
not
has
in
the
your hands.
maturity. Eh?
That's not in your hands, huh?
That's not
But
in
you have to do what's right by you.
but in the long run you win.
Yeah,
in,
absolutely.
in the long run you win. But I wanted also to say, appeal to logic. appeal to logic, not to emotion.
Yeah.
Appeal to logic, and then you're going to have a case.
You said
It's
you had a list. You have other things on that list?
no, you covered the fact
Oh, sorry.
that
Did
was
I
something.
kill your list?
No, but it's very nice because I had it on my list,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that before me. But that's a very good sign because we agree on certain points.
Yeah.
But
And
I really believe on those points because I mean, through all my life, I do sales all my life since 30 plus years. So I saw all nuances
Hmm.
of sales. And I can tell you this arena, the sales arena, it's an arena where a lot of dreamers, a lot of crooks, a lot of any kind of person tries to chase this luck.
Yeah.
So it's not very solid. So you're going to find a variety of different people um,
Hmm.
having different perspectives on how sales should work. So
Yeah.
through all these years of experience, I met people that I really appreciate and I learned a lot out of them. They were the minority, not the majority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think sales has a bad rep because the first thing people think when you say the word sales is, the sleazy car salesman,
Yes.
and
Yes.
because that's been ingrained into our heads. So the minute somebody, somebody's going to do a business transaction, there's often like oh, he's going to try and sell to me, and there's this image that selling is bad and it's a negative, and it's you need to overcome this and and understand you know the client, your audience, whoever you're speaking to, or if it's in leadership, understanding the key stakeholders that you're trying to influence. It's about learning skills of negotiation as well, because that's really important. It's not something we have naturally learning to negotiate, and yeah, be flexible with whoever's in front of you. I've seen people that have their sales script and they're like going through it one by one, and you're like, well, you're not listening to what I'm saying to you, because you're going you're ignoring what I'm saying, and you're just saying your script, and that doesn't work, because clearly the client is not being heard, and well,
The
you're not going
script,
to do a sale.
the script, or let me put it this way, because we always use a script in my business. So we create a script. The script is there to give like a guidance, to give
Framework. A framework, yeah.
a framework only. It's not there for you to read the script. So if
Yeah.
you read the script, you're going to sound like a robot and you're not going to sell anything.
No.
But the most important skill, the way I see it, it's soft skills
Yes,
and human skills, and having the experience in your life to 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 talk and to interact with different people from different walks and paths of life, and try to understand their perspective and their point of view, and have empathy and understand where the other person stands. Those skills are going to be those skills that are going to help you be a successful businessman and be a successful salesperson.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, not many people have those skills, and corporate environments don't promote those skills. So
I think they're trying now more and more. It's the last years. I think there's a whole generation of young people coming up that value those skills more than people than before, and I think companies are having to adapt now.
well, it's good luck with that.
We're always, I'm the glass half full, you're the glass half empty.
Good luck with that, because I don't see it, and I do understand the difficulty. I mean, I understand that if you have a huge, I mean, it's not the same a business where you have the business owner sitting in his desk and he has 5 employees, and you are a big corporation with thousands of employees and it's anonymous, and it's a different nature of business.
That's difficult, huh?
But the first one, where there is, because we are humans, okay, where there is a human interaction, not only a called professional,
They're humans also in corporate.
there are humans in corporate, but they tend to put by side the human uh, parts of their personality to be strictly professional. However, those human parts that you have as a person are the parts that are going to help you create rapport, talk to a variety of different people in a way that is going to make you likable, make you sympathetic, make you appreciated, so that at the end you can have a successful, let's say, outcome of this communication that you're going to have.
Mm.
So it's quite complex, the scenario. I often, Maria, have the impression that when I talk about the complexity, every time that I talk about complexity and I don't give straightforward answers, I lose like a percentage of wannabe followers or wannabe customers of mine.
Okay.
I think that is something that works negatively, but it is what it is. So, the more complex a scenario is, the more you can see and the more you know, the less confident you are. I sell through my confidence, and I think I'm blessed to have quite a high degree of confidence with a high degree of understanding certain things. The one works against the other one, so it's not they are not compatible.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 books to recommend.
Okay, go
Help with
ahead.
the subject. So, do you see it upside down? Yeah, you
Yes.
probably see it upside down. So it's Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion of Robert Cialdini. You can
Yes.
say Cialdini or Cialdini. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, which is a really good book, and it's a classic. And the other one is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss, who's an ex FBI negotiator.
If you talk about never split the difference,
There you
here
are.
it is.
Voila. So we know our
Voila.
classics, but those 2 books are, I think, they're full of really good stuff. There's some, practical tips that you can learn and take away and use in the art of negotiation and persuasion. So I
The
recommend.
Never Split the Difference is a book that I first took it as an audiobook. I took it as an audiobook, and I liked it so much.
That you bought it.
But if I hear something as an audiobook, then I cannot deep dive on that. What I do is I always, I underline stuff and I write my notes, and I said this book is something that I need to buy in order to be able to really study that. So that's what I do with books that I really think they are valuable. That's a super valuable book and very interesting the way it's being written. So it's an amazing guy.
Cool. We have the same tastes.
Yes, the same case, but they're really, really good stuff, really valuable books. Yes.
Great. Okay, so speak again in 2 weeks.
We speak again in 2 weeks, Maria. Thank you very much. And yes, now the time is becoming also a little bit more cozy. We are heading towards Christmas, which is
winter.
Very nice time of the year, I think.
Yeah.
And yes, let us our heart to become softer and more open to the good energy of
Christmas.
People.
Of people. Okay, even in corporate?
Even in corporate, yes. And my idea of people is that, and it might sound a little bit strange, I believe 99% of people are good people. And even the ones that you don't like, maybe there are some kind of toxic, or it's in reality they might be dealing with big problems that you don't know. So
I agree.
Let's forgive them, let's excuse them, and let's have an open door also for them.
Oh, so we're already in the spirit of Christmas ahead of time. Perfect. So see you in 2 weeks.
See you in 2 weeks, Maria. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.